So I could be here for a while today. I started my Friday folders and I did a brain dump. Here's my brain dump. My brain right now, in this week of the school year, is a cup of coffee. And I just started crying and laughing at the same time, and I couldn't, David's making fun of me. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing.
Walk into the place, a spot you from a ways. My heart, it started racing. The crowd across the way, flat was on your face, and then from the 80s. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel farther away. Wait on a moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you. Across the road. Across the road. Lost and in a daze, I caught your sudden gaze, and time it started racing. But moments tend to fade, and you're too far away from me to get my name in. Someone keeps blocking my way.
Good morning. I have a mobile order for
Further away.
Thank you.
Wait on a moment to say that I want you.
Yes.
You know that I want
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Across the across the road. And if you could read my mind, will you make your ways ours mine? And if you could read my mind, will you cross this road tonight, tonight?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Katie. I'm a fifth-year teacher, and I'm currently teaching third grade in the state of Florida, and I'm so glad you're here for a day in my life vlog today. Today is Thursday. It's about mid-April-ish. I'm super tired today, but before I go into why I'm so tired and what we're doing today in third grade, I wanted to thank Nearpod for sponsoring today's video. You are probably in like one of two groups. You've either heard of Nearpod before, and this is going to be a reminder for you to go use it in your classroom, or you've never heard of it before, and you're about to learn about a really great tool. So essentially what Nearpod is it's an app / website that you can pull up on your smartboard, and it provides kind of interactive lesson experience that students can follow along both on your board and on their personal device at their seat. So my students follow along on the Chromebook, but you can also do this on an iPad. They go to a site, they type in a code, and you activate a lesson from your board, and it kind of goes through videos and slides, kind of like you would have in a classroom anyways, and then every once in a while it'll pause and ask the students to answer a question or respond to an open-ended response, and then their responses are sent to you. So it keeps them really engaged because they're constantly looking up at the board for the content, and then when it pauses, they get to interact, and they love it so much. Think of it kind of as daily teaching slides colliding with some kind of application that you can use for formative assessment for your kids to respond to questions, essentially. The end of the year can be super hard with student engagement. I know they get squirrely, they get antsy, it's spring, they want to be outside. And so I started incorporating this in the last few weeks in my classroom, and let me tell you, they were so into it. One of the things that I did was an opinion writing lesson. We actually did this yesterday in my classroom, and I pulled one up. The great thing is they have a huge database of things that are already made for you. So I just went in and I was like, I need something to review opinion writing. We've already taught about it a little bit, but I just need a fun review. So I typed in opinion writing on Nearpod and popped up with a lesson. I previewed through it and I was like, this will be great. So I led it and facilitated it up on my board. My students responded to the questions and they were so into it. And then we got got to the end and it asked them to write an opinion paragraph about what breakfast food is the best. So I made them pause because it gave them a big box to type. So of course they were like, we get to type our answers. So I made them pause and brainstorm in our journals and do their rough draft in the journal. And once I checked over their rough draft, I let them type in Nearpod their responses, and that was the fastest I've ever seen them finish their rough drafts, and not in a bad way. Like, they did thorough work and they got their stuff done because they wanted to type on Nearpod. You can choose from over 22,000 created lessons, assignments, drag and drop formative assessments, and you can search them by standard, by topic, by grade level. So they have a wealth of material for teachers to use, which is great in the spring too, and it's very low prep. I didn't have to prep anything for that lesson. I pulled up the Nearpod and we used the writer's notebooks we already had. So if Nearpod is something that you want to try, or perhaps you want to try the Nearpod Gold membership, I will have a link in my description box below that gets you 3 months of Nearpod Gold for free. So please go check that out. You need it for the end of the school year. Let me tell you, if you're a teacher, this will help your students be engaged in what you're doing for these last few months as we approach summer. They love it so much, and I cannot recommend it more. All right, so story time. This is why Katie got a coffee this morning, and she's so tired. I stayed up till 1 a.m. Y'all, I never do that. Never. I'm like in bed by 10. 1 a.m. is like 3 hours past my bedtime. But our bestest friends from Alabama came in town last night. They're on their way to visit family in Florida, and we stayed up late playing a new board game. And this is actually funny because I'm pretty sure it was like almost a year ago I had this same talk with you guys in a vlog, because they came in town like a year ago, probably in April or May, and we stayed up playing a new board game. And we learned another new one last night. We played Everdell. So fun. If you're into games and you like kind of complex games that have a lot of layers, Everdell is for you. But when I tell you, we played it for 4 hours because we didn't know how to play. So we started setting up at like 8:30, and then by the time we watched the video, I'll have to link the video below. Like, I have a great channel that we watch every time we learn how to play a new video, so I'll link that video below if you're interested in learning how to play Everdell. But by the time we watched his video, set it up, and kind of learned how to play that way, read through the rules, and then got started, we got started at like 8:30, but we didn't finish playing the game till like 12:30. I did win because David made a fatal mistake at the end, and I ended up winning because he played a card in an order that he didn't mean to play a card. So I don't know. It was really good though, and it was a pretty close game, and the cards are beautiful, and it took us a while because we were like reading them all and trying to figure out what happens with all the cards. But like, these are our game friends. We have a lot of friends that we play games with, but David and I like complex games, and so when they come in town, we're like, what game are we going to play? We get to pull out like whatever game we want because we know they're up for the challenge. So that one was really, 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 really fun. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. But because of that, I went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I stopped to get a Dunkin' this morning because I was like, 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 6. So I was like, first off, I'm getting like 5 hours of sleep or less, which is way less than I usually get. Second off, I wanted to vlog today, and I was like, I need the energy to vlog today. And so I went and got a coffee. So that's where we're at right now. So if I look tired or if I have bags under my eyes, you'll know why. Or if I show up in glasses later in this vlog, because my contacts hurt because my eyes are so tired, so I packed my glasses for later. Because it's also going to be a long day here at school. Not only do I have my normal school day, not only does it look like it's gonna rain, so we could potentially be inside for recess. Yikes. But we also have an active assailant shooter training after school in the library, so that's going to take a while. And Thursdays are my long days anyways because I fill out Friday folders to go home tomorrow on Thursdays. And there was something else. Oh, we're taking a math test this morning, and I really like to grade them the day we take it, like for real. I'm that kind of psycho crazy, but that's because I give them an opportunity to do test corrections if things go like terribly wrong and the average is low and I feel like, I don't know what happened. We go through it and we do test corrections, and I'd love to do that tomorrow. I like to do it when it's like fresh on their brain, and then to send the test home tomorrow in Friday folders would be great, so parents can get that like quick feedback for how their students did. So I could be here for a while today. So all of that being said, the first thing I'm gonna do is, in just a moment, I gotta go get my coffee and slip it into my Java sock because it's already sweating on my desk. I'll enjoy sipping on that. I need to go through the math test. I always preview all the questions the morning before we take it, so I know if there's anything tricky that I need to go and show the students and just say, hey, read this question. Let's make sure we understand what it means, because sometimes there are questions that are tricky and are not formatted like what we've been doing in the curriculum, and that's not a fair assessment of what they know. So I'm like, if there's anything direction-wise it's gonna be confusing, I like to go over that first. And then After I do that, I'll probably like take a breath and chill for a little bit because I feel very high strung and tired, if we're being honest. I can't think if there's anything else that I have to do. For reading, I don't really know what we're gonna do. Like I said, we did Nearpod yesterday and that was really fun on opinion writing. So we might do another opinion writing, and this time I might have them write a hard copy, final copy, so I can grade it with a rubric, and maybe I'll introduce them to like my grading rubric for that. And then for science, we're doing a fun mystery science lesson, but I don't want to go over it this morning because I really need to get started with my day. So I think I'll show you the mystery science lesson this afternoon. And like I said, I'm going to be here a while, so I'll have a chance to show it to you. So right now I'm going to show you my outfit and then get started with all of my classroom morning things. All right, here's my outfit of the day. I've worn this one before. It's my Old Navy t-shirt dress, classic. I wear these all the time. I usually wear them on Wednesdays, but today I'm wearing it on a Thursday. I have this pink jacket from Marshall's. It's like a corduroy kind of fabric, and I really, really love it. And my jewelry is from Ana Luisa. I have a friend named Ana Luisa. So Ana Luisa is where my jewelry's from. And then I'm wearing these shoes that I got a couple years ago at like a discount store, so I can't link them, sorry. But they're my favorite little snake print booties. So that's my outfit for today. It's also one of my favorite outfits. This is falling down. That's better. It's also one of my favorite outfits, so I wore that to kind of hype myself up even though I was tired too.
Into the place, a spot you from a ways. My heart, it started racing. The crowd across the way, the flowers on your face, and then I'm from the 80s. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel farther away. Wait on a moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you.
All right, you guys, I'm picking you up right here. I've been working on Friday folders in my classroom. All right, and so now what I'm gonna do is pause what I'm doing. I'm gonna go take my contacts out because they're so dry. I think it's because I didn't get a lot of sleep, and I brought my glasses as a backup before we go sit in this training in the library. I started my Friday folders and I did a brain dump. Here's my brain dump of all the things that are in my brain right now that I needed to get on paper before we go to this training. So that's what I'm about to do. Maybe I'll grab a Sprite. I think I have a Sprite in the fridge, so I might take one of those down with me for this training. And then I got a lot to update you guys on and like to do when I come back to my classroom, so it's gonna be a late one today.
Your sudden gaze and time it started racing.
All right, nothing like a little car chat to pick up the vlog again. I'm gonna be honest, I had high hopes of vlogging in my classroom this afternoon and it did not happen. I looked at that brain dump list. Okay, so first off, our training was an assailant shooter, like an active shooter training. And so that's a very heavy topic and a very relevant topic for teachers right now in the United States. And I'm not going into details on the training or opinions here or there, but it's just a heavy topic to go over. And I think I'll just leave it at that, honestly. I can't think of anything else that I really want to say on that, except I did just take a minute in the middle of that training, and I just when I was getting overwhelmed, I just said prayers and prayed for safety over our school and for our teachers and for our students and for wisdom and discernment, and just prayers of, I'm trying to get the lighting to fix, like prayers of gratitude for the resource, like the officers that we have on our campuses, and for the local law enforcement that we have that supports our schools, because that's very encouraging. So that's all I'm going to say on that. So then when we came back, I wasn't in my let's be productive and knock everything out kind of mood, but it was a nice time because my teammates were in there and we worked on chaperone information because we're going to the zoo next week for a field trip, and so we worked on getting chaperone groups and all of those things put together. And I sent out an email for that. And then I finished doing my Friday folders, which was good. So I started grading. So like recapping, I think I'm going to go inside where it's like more air conditioned, and I'll recap you on like what we did for the rest of the day. And again, I apologize that this is not in my classroom. However, this is what happens when third grade teacher stays up late on a school night. My brain is like mush, totally mush. But this is a day in my teacher life, and my day as a teacher does not just start and end when I'm at school. A day in my life includes the morning before I get to school and when I get home. So I'm going to go home. I'm already home. I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to fill you in on like how the rest of the day went, kind of recap style.
But moments tend to fade, and you're too far away from me to get my name in.
Okay, this is one of my favorite recap spaces in my house, and right now I'm using the cinematic mode on my iPhone. If you're ever wondering, I vlog all of my stuff on my iPhone, and this cinematic mode, it's interesting. It's interesting. So we'll do this recap clip like this, just for funsies. Why not? It looks a little bit different than it usually does. So today in the classroom, morning went okay. Math tests were pretty decent. I went ahead and graded all of those so we can do corrections on those tomorrow, which will be fantastic. And then I can send them home. The kids who got it really got it, which was really exciting to see. After that, when they came back, the plan was to do test corrections from ELA tests that we did earlier in the week, and then to do opinion writing, which we did. So I did the test corrections, and they all did really well on those, and they were kind of like, oh, on the questions they missed, which was great. And then we did our opinion writing. I modeled it on the board and gave them the steps that they needed to follow. We wrote about our favorite movie, which was fun. I modeled with Frozen 2. I wish I had like shown you when I was in the classroom, but I showed the brainstorming page, the reasons I like Frozen 2, and then I did like a little, in my opinion, Frozen 2 is a great movie. One reason I like it is because the songs are catchy. For example, Into the Unknown gets stuck in my head all the time, and etc. And then I let the students work on their brainstorm and rough draft. They had to come bring their rough draft to me. I checked them and gave them a little bit of feedback because this wasn't intended to be like the full independent on their own version of opinion writing, but it was like their first, just like I was scaffolding a little bit. So I checked over their rough draft, just helped them correct a few things, and then I gave them a piece of notebook paper and a pen. Pens are highly engaging when they're doing their final draft. They love to write it in pen. And so I did that, and that ended up taking longer than I had anticipated. I gave them about 30 minutes. I'll be honest, we probably worked on it for about 40. The kids who were finished, I let them read extra for AR or read on Epic while the rest of them finished up, because writing is such a struggle in third grade right now because you just have the like vast like array of abilities. You have the ones who can already write 6 pages and make them complete paragraphs and like do really well. And then the ones who are like, okay, getting 3 or 4 sentences is going to be hard. And so when I do writing, that's kind of how it ends up. It's like read for AR or Epic when you're done. And do I feel bad sometimes that they're kind of just like working on that? Yes, but then I can really get the ones who need more, like, come sit at my table. Let us write together, because I don't know. It's just really hard. So if you have any tips and you teach third grade and you have writing teaching tips, let me know. It's very different from teaching first grade writing, but in a way it's still kind of the same. So there's that. Their movie writings turned out so cute though. They were really good. And I thought it was a good prompt because it's something like people are kind of opinionated on. So I had intended to do the mystery science flower pollination experiment, and we started watching the introduction video for it, but we did not start the experiment because we only had like 20 minutes left, and I knew this experiment was going to take a while. I will link it below in the description box in case you want to try it out. If you teach pollination as a standard, as a science standard, you can try that out. It looks like it's gonna be really fun. Like they're making a little flower with paper, and then we're putting cornstarch and coffee grounds in, and they're using a pipe cleaner like a bee, and they're practicing like pollinating their flowers. So that'll be really fun. I think like overall today, like my metaphor for the day is my brain right now in this week of the school year is a cup of coffee that somebody has filled to the brim. And it's like one little bump and something goes phew, and that's why I had to do that brain dump earlier today. It didn't help that I was like sleep deprived today too, but I was feeling this way yesterday too because we had our team meeting, which we always have on Wednesdays, which is fine, but it was like end of the year parties, end of the year celebration, retirement celebrations, testing reminders. We have 2 field trips next week. So it was like a lot, and I left feeling like I was like walking on thin ice with that cup of coffee. And as things keep going, you like bump and you're like, I feel like I'm forgetting things, like spilling over, if that makes sense. So that brain dump was very helpful for me. And it was different from a to-do list, because a to-do list is usually the things that I want to get done before I leave school. But today I was like, some of these things I don't need to get done before I leave school, but I need to write them down so the thought does not escape me before I leave school. So I'll just have to come back to it in the morning, because the thing that I didn't get to today was I didn't get to grading all of the writings. I graded like 3 of them. And then, I left school at 5:50. And I could not tell you the last time I left school that late. I'm usually pretty good at leaving right at 3:30 when my kids are gone, or even at 3:15 sometimes, like right when the kids are gone. So to leave at like almost 6 o'clock was really crazy, but I kind of knew it was going to be a later day. So now what I'm going to do is I'm home. David's going to get home in a little bit, and we're going to have dinner. We have leftovers from last night. We made his favorite recipe. It's called party chicken. It's a family recipe. Look at the clouds just shifted, so all the lighting's different now. It's a family recipe that his family loves, and we eat it with mashed potatoes, and we ran out of mashed potatoes last night, but we still have the chicken left. So he's bringing potatoes home to make mashed potatoes, but that'll probably take like a good 45 minutes or so to make, so I've got time. So I told him, I was like, I'm gonna go start a bath. Like, I'm gonna sit in a bubble bath and relax and let my brain just zone out for a little bit. I might listen to music. I might close my eyes and rest. But just in a nice bubble bath with some like lavender bubbles, and I'm really excited. So that's what we're gonna do next, and then we'll have dinner. I'm just watching people drive by outside. That's how my brain is right now. And tomorrow's Friday, so the reason I stayed late is because I wanted to try to get a lot of stuff done, because I knew my Friday brain wouldn't want to handle it. So I'm glad I got a lot of it done. I know I still have some things I need to finish, but we're gonna make it. We are gonna make it.
It's blocking my way. I can't feel further away. Wait on the moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you.
I'll put it in the microwave for just a second, just because I've got it warm, but it's not really hot.
Potato!
Potato.
Say your quote. What's your potato quote?
Potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Lord of the Rings. There you go.
You told us both we could be at the wedding?
In my defense, you weren't supposed to tell each other.
I just need y'all to look at my face for a minute. I was sitting on the couch and I ate a brownie, and David and I were watching TV, and my cousin, who's younger than me, my aunt, just posted that he's going to Auburn, and that's where I went to school. And then I got emotional and I felt really old, and because it's been a while since I was at Auburn, and I'm excited for him, and I just started crying and laughing at the same time, and David's making fun of me. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing, and so that was my sign that it's time to go to bed. So I'm really excited for my cousin. Yay, go Nick. We're going to Auburn. War Eagle to that. But on that note, I'm going to finish this vlog out. My hair, I think it'll make it one more day tomorrow. So I'm just going to take my makeup off, get ready for bed. But before I close the vlog out, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I promise not all of my vlogs are all over the place like today's was, but oh my goodness. And I also wanted to just give one last shout out to Nearpod and thank them for sponsoring today's video. Remember that you can get 3 months of Nearpod Gold membership for free using the link in my description box below. So check that out. As always, I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later.